Hi, hello everyone. Today we are going to work on a peacock. Right now I am working on getting this wire that this beak is attached to. That beak is made out of Sculpey. You bake it in the oven, and then I hand painted it to look like a peacock's beak. So there, see it's on a wire there. And I'm going to shove that in there. And once I get it in there, then I'm going to pull it out and put some glue on it. You see how I bent that because I don't want it to come out the back of the head. And how that wire is determines how that beak will sit on its face. What you're looking at is the beginnings of a peacock head. Believe it or not, I mean, that looks a little, to me. But anyway, all right, so what I think I'm doing right now is fighting with the glue so that I can, yeah, there we go. There's the glue, and I'm going to put that right in there. Okay, you can make it do whatever you want. And then the key is the wire, is if you use, I'm using a needle, and then I'm going to knit that wire. And so the glue is really secondary, but it helps to keep everything in place. So here is a bag of this beige wool. This is what I use for the foundation of the body. And there's a lot of it, because it's going to be, not a life-size peacock, but maybe half-size, life-size peacock, and so you got to poke all that in there and shape it. If you can draw, I think you can sculpt. Drawing is really one side, trying to make it look three-dimensional, and this is three-dimensional, so you got to work all sides. And you can see that beak, and okay, so I did some work on it while you weren't looking. But see how that beak is hand painted, and then I put the dark around the beak and got that in there. Right now I'm working on the eyebrow. I already have the eyes set. Now the eyes come round, but look, if you see it, it's really shaped like an eye. So you can, shape your eye by putting the wool, around it to make it look more like an almond shape, if you will. Okay. Now, if you notice, I've got I'm working on a block. It's a not styrofoam, rubber foam pad that's covered with a piece of material. And that way, when you're poking your needle, it goes into the foam pad and you don't break your needle. Now here, is shaping and adding the cheekbone. And see that wire I have in the back? I stuck that in there to, if you notice on a peacock, it has a little bit of a crest. And I put wire in there to firm that up so that when I put the crown feathers on, it'll stay where I want it. And here I'm working under the chin. And see how I work the dark color into the light color. So it's not always just a straight line. You kind of want to feather it in, if you will, or graduate it. Now I've zoomed in close so you can see. Now I'm going to add a little bit of, what do you call it? It's under your eyelid too. A little bit of peach color so that, it makes it look a little more realistic. And you can just put that in. And that's what that looks like. So you can really pay attention to detail with this little needle. My favorite needle is the yellow needle. It's small and doesn't leave large holes in your wool. Most important thing is don't poke yourself. So I'm working that around there. I got to add a little more because it kind of went under the eye. The eyes I glued in just like I did with the beak. That has a little wire on the end of it too. You can buy those. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I had worked on this body. And there's an armature, that's why I pointed to the tail, so that I could bend it if I want to. And I'm going to work the area to where I can put the drumsticks in, so to speak, which we'll see in a later video. But there's a lot of wool there. Now this I'm not so worried about, poking anything or breaking my needle because it's so thick, the body of the peacock. But the most important thing is to get your shape the way you want it, because once you start to add the color, you don't want to have to reshape your peacock with the color wool. You want to do it with this beige wool. Now I'm doing around the leg where the feet are going to go in. And that's the wing. I'm cutting it away so it looks like it's over and not under the leg. And I'll knit that back in there. And I'll be posting another video of finishing up this peacock. I must have worked on it for a couple weeks. It's the first peacock I've done. And, I want it to be sitting up, and then I'm going to add the tail feathers and all that and the collar, and we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching.